Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the first
Hey.
edition of the Unboxing Life podcast. We have a very special inaugural episode for you guys. We'll be tackling our top 10 games of all time. So sit down, grab a snack, and kick back with us, please.
Yes, sir. Bro, unboxing life sounds so good, dude. Just
That
to
it
say it.
does.
We didn't have a title last time. I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
We
it
here
sounds
now.
so official now. Yeah.
The
Hope you
currently
guys like the
unnamed
logo. For any of just real quick, any of the people like our friends and family who gave the last one a listen and everything, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, please.
thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
You
much.
guys are awesome.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good feedback and we got some not nice feedback, but
Yeah.
we'll
I mean,
take
that's
that into
all-
consideration going
That's
forward.
expected and appreciated in its own way, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
For
All
sure.
right. Well, yeah, we talked about video games the first time, and we just want to talk about the ones we love the most now. So,
Yeah, but before we get into that, we have some housekeeping. So
oh, true.
David
yeah.
did mention the new logo. Shout out to
Right,
Alex.
Yeah.
He's our good friend. He's also a beat maker. So if you come across him on SoundCloud, give him a couple listens. But
Oh yeah.
he designed our beautiful new logo, and we love it.
And
So
that's
thank you,
yeah, he's a Amo on SoundCloud, AMO.
sir.
So yeah, check him out.
That and hopefully you guys got to hear the new track that David made for us. It's our outro, our intro and outro song, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard it like he sent it to us like 10:30 at night, and I was in my bed and I threw it on, and like, right when it kicked in, I just started bopping my head. I had a stank face on. That shit is hard. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys enjoy it just as much as I do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I hope you guys like it. Yeah, let me know if you do. I don't know.
Yeah, any constructive criticism is welcomed.
Yeah, for sure.
So
All right.
all right,
Was there anything
without
else?
much further
So I
ado,
think we
I
should
think,
formally introduce ourselves, right? As
Oh
it's
yeah, sure.
episode one.
First official episode, I guess.
so the guy that's been talking the most, unfortunately, is me. I'm Trevor.
Hey. All right. And my name is David.
And I am Cameron.
And we are the
Yeah.
Unboxing Light podcast. Let's get into it.
Dang. Okay, so
Alright,
yeah,
so-
we're gonna start with each of us hitting on our number 10 and like just talking
So yeah, we're just
about.
gonna pass it around the room. We're gonna go.
Did we say what we were doing?
Yeah,
That it was going to be
Yeah,
a top
and we're
10
gonna be talking about our top games of all time, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope we mentioned that. Yeah.
All right.
No.
Well,
All right.
if we did, I
So
blacked
who-
out. But
Yo, he listens, so you know.
I don't know.
Shout
what
Shout
you're
out to
talking
Brian, baby.
yes, sir. Yes,
about. So yeah, we're going to be doing
Hopefully
top 10 games
the
of all
lettering
time
isn't enough to make you black out.
for us personally.
Mhm.
So my disclaimer at the top of this was going to be that this is our all personal top 10 games of all time. This isn't
Facts.
like a high critic like analyzing these games and like giving them a score out of 10 and then like analyzing it that way. It's going to be like
Super biased.
super biased.
personal
Yeah,
biased.
exactly. Super personally biased. The way I did mine was like the amount of fun and memories I have on the game from like when I was playing it. Not looking back on it like, is this like
Does this
a
hold
track?
up in time?
Does
Yeah.
this hold up? But like when I was playing it, this was a lot of fun. I have a lot of great memories from this game being so much fun and everything, and the times I had on it. And so with that comes an accessibility thing where I'm predicting. We don't know each other's lists. We purposefully did that so that we could react to
spoilers.
each other's. And so I'm predicting that Trevor's going to have at least like 3 or 4 like PS4 exclusives on there. And so,
Right.
and
I have 3.
he has 3.
Yeah, I have
okay.
3 on there.
So I've never had a PS4. My most recent PlayStation console was the PS2, which I talked about in episode 0. So since then I've had an Xbox, so I have no access to PlayStation exclusives. So like none of those are on my list.
Neither does
I've never,
David.
yeah, I've never
Yeah.
had a PlayStation in my life. I have the Switch, and I've played mainly PC and Xbox games. That's what you're gonna hear. But I think I have a decent variety. But yeah,
we've,
just
we've been Xbox plebs for the longest time. This generation is going to be PS5, baby. We're trying to get Cameron to
We will
switch
see.
over, but it's a little
We will
hard.
see.
Yeah, come on now.
There's still a lot of information that needs to be like
That's
settled
fair.
out.
Yeah, like the price.
Like the price,
Yeah.
largely the price. I mean, I said this to begin with. But like, if it's $1,000 console, that's not something I'm going to be able to purchase for a fair amount of time.
Yeah.
Coming out of college, trying to land a job, I'm gonna start paying more rent and all this stuff, and like it's gonna be a definite a lot of factors rolling into that.
But if it's only like $100 difference, just it's totally worth the price.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll see. I'm excited. The thing I'm most excited about was when they were talking about the controller, and they were talking about the haptic feedback, and that it actually feels like you're like drawing a bow back or like driving down a dirt road like that. I'm very excited to see what they can do with that. Yeah,
that's kind of crazy
for sure.
Okay,
a little detour, but
so it's
a conversation.
Anymore.
Yeah, so this is just going to be us. So we're going to start with our bottom of the 10, and we're going to go straight up into our number 1. So
yes, sir. We're just going to have our conversation about them.
Yeah. So who would like to kick off the list?
Let's see, Trevor. You like to talk.
Okay, all right.
Pass it put it all on Trevor.
I gave you the conversation baton, and you pass it right back.
Yeah. Do I want to go? I guess I can go next.
Okay. And then Cam.
All right. Yeah, we'll go Trevor, David, me.
All right. So kicking it off at number 10. Drum roll, please. I have Super Mario Odyssey on number 10. Number 10 slot.
That's a solid choice.
So yeah, I don't think much needs to be said about this title. It was absolutely mind blowing just to look at it. It's gorgeous to this day. 3 years later, it probably will stand the test of time, like easily among all the Mario platformers that I played. At least I go back to Galaxy a little bit. I went back to Galaxy a couple of years ago, and it's a little rough on the edges, but Odyssey just looks stunning. The visuals are mind-blowing. Every level has its own personality. The color palette is superb. Like, there's a few levels in there. Are we talking spoilers?
We should mention that if we've all played the game, we're gonna be like, okay, you want to talk about this, and then you guys will probably hear ahead of time, like we're gonna get into them. But
okay,
we're not gonna do it like
we're not gonna in depth look at the story, but I'd like to.
And we can do that. We can do that later on with them. Yeah, we're not just gonna say a game's title and then say like how it ends or anything.
Yeah.
So New Donk City in itself is worth the purchase. Just to run around that city is phenomenal. I actually went to the Nintendo World in New York City a few years back, and it's just cool to see that city realized in that sort of fashion. So being able to control Cappy and
they built like a real New Donk City, and what was it?
Basically,
Nintendo World, you said?
Like when you first get there, it's nighttime, and there's like a big caterpillar that's like roaming the city, and you fucking beat the shit out of it. And then it goes from night to day and sunny as hell.
Yeah.
It's a joy to play. If you have not played it, please play Odyssey if you have a Switch.
Yes, I think this is the first game I definitely like, the first single player game I played on the Switch, and it almost made my top 10. So I'm glad you included it.
Oh yeah, like I thought that was one of the ones that we were gonna share in common.
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry, but I just we should go into our honorable mentions because that would be in there. We should talk about those.
Do you
want to
I'd rather just get through the list, honestly.
Yeah, you want to do the list and then do honorable mentions?
Yeah, we'll do the list and then we'll do honorable mentions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. But that's one I'm on.
Okay.
That works.
So David is all you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, dang, dude. Odyssey's a good choice. Dang. I don't know. Okay. So my number 10 is like, I feel like I never talk about this game. You guys probably won't see it coming. Assassin's Creed 2, baby.
That's a good choice. No, I like that take.
Thank you. Listen, this is okay. My sister, I had a Game Informer as a kid, and I would get it, and like when the first Assassin's Creed was coming out, my sister and I were like, "What is this gonna be like? You're freaking gathering information and killing people and stuff."
Yeah.
And like, the first Assassin's Creed was great at the time, but like going back to it,
rough.
So many limitations. Like
rough.
Dumb clunky,
you can't you can only assassinate with Hidden Blade. You go to like, the same
Riders.
3 cities the whole game. It's kind of tough. But Assassin's Creed 2 was like literally like it's how sequels should be. It literally like improved on everything. I was thinking about it making this, like the story is incredible. It has no spoilers, I guess, unless you guys have played it and we can talk about it. But like, I think
it's
it has
an old-ass
one of the
game.
best.
It's like it's like an 11-year-old game. I think you could
So
swear
you've
it.
all
I
been
think
it? Yeah, okay.
just go for it.
I haven't, but I'm not gonna go back to Assassin's Creed. So.
Okay, I think it has one of the best, it's most surprising endings of most video games I've played. And like, dang, dude, you could have 2 hidden blades. You could get a gun. Like when I saw the trailer, they had an entire trailer for one weapon, just having the gun under your wrist. Because the first one was in like 1100, so you just had a sword and stuff.
Yep.
It was insane. Being in Renaissance Italy and stuff. Like, dang.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
For a long time. Yeah. Oh, there
All
you
right,
go.
Cam, hit us with it.
All right, so I'm going more the Trevor out here with a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
I got Mario Kart Wii as my number 10.
Okay.
Dang,
Okay.
no.
Round of applause. Round of applause.
So, I mean, it's just a blast of a game. I went into a fair amount of detail about it in episode 0, where I put like a lot of hours grinding out all the modes to get the gold badge for every single square on the license, like all that.
Yep.
But beyond that, you could just play for fun for like hours and hours. And it was a blast for me too, because I had the when I got it, I think I got it for Christmas, and so in that package my parents got like the package for it, and it had like the plastic wheel that you could load the controller into,
the Wii remote.
And so I'm like in 3rd grade, like with a with a plastic wheel and everything.
Yeah,
like,
you just whipping that shit.
around corners. Yeah, it felt like the coolest thing. So yeah, I mean the maps in that mode in that game are like, even the simple ones are still fun.
Coconut Mall is a banger and a half.
Yeah, Coconut Mall. Maple Treeway was one of my favorites.
Koopa Cape.
And I always ran shit on it. I mean, every single person who talks about this game will say they ran shit on Rainbow Road, but that's my shit.
Dang.
That's
even the DK Summit was fun as fuck with that.
Yeah, DK Summit was dope.
That big ass, almost like corridor of snow, and you just get to Sean White that shit.
Yeah, the half pipe. Yeah.
Man, I wish I had played it on the Wii.
Oh god, dude! I even had, like, you mentioned the steering wheel. I had the one that was like it was red and blue, and it had like a base, so it was a little heavy, and you could put your legs around it, and then it was like attached to the base, and it felt like you were in a go-kart.
Oh,
it was lit as fuck.
I got you. I know.
I had that for I had that for the original Xbox, but it was like for like Need for Speed Underground or something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was not the level of Mario Kart for sure, but
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah, Mario Kart Wii is a classic.
Then as a fun fact for this one, I actually was in the middle of the so U Miami has Sports Fest every year, which is just like an Olympics between the on-campus dorms. And so one of the events is like, so they have
I know what you're talking about.
dodgeball, basketball, flag football, like all the stuff. But then some of the events are video game based, so it's Smash and Mario Kart. And so at the time, I don't think the Switch has only been out for like 2 years, so it was just they had the Wii.
3.5.
I don't know. Anyway, so the school only had Wii's, so we were playing Mario Kart Wii, and I was in the semifinals of that event, and we were told to evacuate the building. And
yeah, he got robbed of his champ.
What the hell is going on here? Yeah, I was like pretty confident about winning that, and we were told to evacuate the building. So everyone just gets ushered out. Not even like the RAs who are in charge of it will like know what's going on. They're just like everyone get out of the building. And so we're like, okay, this is like mass shooter, like bomb going off type territory. So me and my boy Colin were just like, well, let's get the fuck out of here. And so we left and walked across campus and just sat there, and we watched as like people got ushered across the sports fields. It like was super scary in a way, of like something like could go down. And it turns out someone just left a turned on insulin monitor in a trash can, and it had a red blinking light and was beeping. And so someone thought there was a fucking bomb in the gym. So we had to all evacuate, and it was just because someone left an insulin monitor turned on in a trash can. So it was,
he got robbed of his chip.
Yeah, so that that is my wild Mario Kart Wii fun fact.
Man, well,
there you go.
Jeez.
Let's kick into number 9. So
number 9.
Okay.
Let's see.
Man, Trevor,
this one was a little painful for me. I self-proclaimed this as my my top game of all time, like for at least a few years, especially with my friends. I'm sure you guys can know the game that I'm talking about. It's a little game called Borderlands 2. It was tough to put this at number 9
for this.
It was really fucking
that
tough.
Is actually very surprising. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's a game that I played through 13 times. I have so many save files on that game. It's very addicting.
Yeah. Very replayable game though, for sure.
Super. Like I still remember a lot of those dialogues, and they became like inside jokes. Like, especially when Scooter gets introduced in the game, he's like, "You'll never take me alive, you robotic son, bitch." And, like, that shit always made me crack up, and the whole sanctuary lifting off, and
those games, they're so good because I think they're like the best.
Catch a ride.
Catch a ride.
Like the best version of like the loot and shoot stuff, and like
facts.
They're just so solid. Like everyone, they've each gotten just they add stuff every time.
And Borderlands 3 is amazing in its own right, but it didn't hook me nearly as hard as Borderlands 2 did.
Yeah.
I will say that the gameplay and the actual game and the mechanics and how polished Borderlands 3 is, it's a better game than Borderlands 2, but it didn't hook me like Borderlands 2 did.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's why
the story in Borderlands 2 is really, I think it's better too.
Facts. Yeah, you actually gave a fuck about the villain.
Yeah.
Versus the Calypso twins.
The who?
Yeah, the Who sound effect you will hear a lot on the podcast. Trevor falling asleep on something.
Facts.
Just absolutely snoozing. That will happen from time to time.
Oh. It's my turn. Now this is one
passing the baton.
Thank you, sir. Now, okay, I know Trevor has this one. We sort of talked about. This is the only one.
Oh, down here? All right.
Down here, baby. There's certain. Okay, so it's Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Gunshot.
This is. Sorry. This is like one of my most played games ever, and when it was coming out, one of my most anticipated games ever. Like you have to understand, dude. Like I was like 12. I was going to like little school with my friend Jake and like our friends or whatever, and like we would just watch the trailers for this, and we're like, Eminem's in the trailer, bro, and like that means a lot. And,
what song was he? Wait, what was he in the? Was he just playing a track?
I feel like it was.
This came out before
Recovery. Was it the live action trailer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where they have like all the celebrities that kind of like became a tradition, where like they would have at least one, like where they were the soldiers and controlling the kill streaks and everything.
No, I don't think that had even started yet, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think they started that with Black
Ops 2, I want to say.
Yeah, it was the old day. It was just like gameplay and like cutscenes. I think maybe the Won't Back Down single was out then, because there's no way they were playing Relapse. Freaking.
I can see that. Yeah, no. There's no Relapse hype song.
Yeah, so, dude, like, it was just. It felt like an event every time I played it. Like everyone was on that game. It was Xbox 360.
Large facts.
It's the old. For me, it was 360 at least. It's the old thing of like that game would force you into game chat on basically every playlist mode. So, it was like the whole thing of just getting, I don't know, harassed and just battered online.
Dude, yeah, you'd go like, dude, if you were going and something, especially in search, it's just it erupted in the lobby. Like
everyone
one person would call someone out, and then the entire lobby erupts.
Yeah,
like there is not like a single player not in game chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a million video compilations on YouTube, especially now that they're getting recommended. Like kids that survived 09 can have a testament to this, and it just shows like they're in a pregame lobby for a team deathmatch, and they're just fucking screaming at each other. It's like 40-year-olds just laying into each other. It is so it's timeless. The times on that game.
Okay, so I don't know. I have like my voice can fluctuate from like, it can be pretty high pitched sometimes nowadays, but like back then, dude, I was what people would dub a squeaker. Like my voice had not even come close to dropping yet.
Yep.
So that's just a death sentence. Like if people hear you talk, and I have my sister's gamer tag, so they'd either think I'm a girl or a little kid. Like, and neither one was good, unfortunately.
No, not
like,
at all. And if you were a chick, oh my god, if you
it's
were
not,
a chick,
it's not good. They're like, "Do you want to date immediately?" And I would see
Dude.
some of that because I had my sister's name as my gamer tag. It was just crazy. Played it so much. The single player is great too. It built on the last one.
Yep.
I want to say like it's just like okay, it was hacked a bunch and like the old like NoobTube like exploits and stuff were
Yep.
just annoying. So I feel like
the JTAG Xbox strikes again.
yeah, like the multiplayer was just a beautiful mess, and it was just ridiculously fun. But like you couldn't play it like after a certain time. Like when after Black Ops came out, like you almost couldn't get back to it after a certain point.
They had
it was like
those. Yeah, Call of Duty has an expiration date, especially the older ones, where they just stop patching in security updates.
Yeah, it was kind of rough. I don't know. Yeah, so that's that. Like, just so much experience on it, but like, still a bunch of flaws. But I love it for all its flaws. Yeah.
We probably took a little too much time on that, but
no. Hey, this is we want to go in depth.
I think we take as much time as we want for each game, especially one that like resonates with all of us so heavily.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't play MW2 when it came out, but I did go back to it, so I do have quite a few hours in that game. So yeah, no, it completely makes sense.
All right, Cam.
All right, so my number 9 is one I mentioned last episode briefly as well, I think, which is Halo Reach. So
oh dang,
yeah,
out
bro.
of that franchise, man, that's tough.
Yeah,
wow,
that's super tough.
So I know a lot of people like swear to death by like Halo 3 and everything, but I didn't have my Xbox until like Reach was the game. So I disclaim that. Don't beat me to death, because I'm sure I would have loved Halo 3 as much as y'all do, but it wasn't the one. It wasn't my first and that kind of thing. So so yeah, I think I said briefly, Halo Reach was like where I made my first internet friend, and then I got introduced to his whole friend group. So we had a bunch of good times on there. I think I played the invasion mode the most.
Firefight.
Because it felt like more strategic. There were a lot of opportunities to like be sneaky, or like because you had to move up piece by piece and like take the enemy like points to advance.
Yeah.
And like get into a bigger battle arena, and get like better equipment. So you could get like a dope multi-kill and then like an assassination and be the absolute hero and like move on to the next area as the time was running out. It was all that crazy stuff. And the campaign in that game is like pretty good as well.
Pretty good. That shit is fucking superb. Are you serious?
All right, I was baiting that. So that's
definitely don't downplay that campaign. If you have not played Reach, please play the campaign at least.
And so like the way they set up the challenges too, you could go back and play them in random co-op matchmaking with the different modifiers and stuff, and it would still feel fun and not like completely repetitive at all. And then there was just such a variety of modes in that game too, and a lot of fun weapons. I mean, obviously there's all the classic Halo weapons, but like nothing made you feel better, right? I mean, it's just Halo wide of like you mounting up the kills, the multi kills, and it's like kill-tacular, and it's like you just feel like the man.
Announcer is it's on par with the Smash announcer, if not more.
Oh yeah, I'd say better.
Yeah, and then there's all sorts of modes like 2v2s and like cage matches, that kind of stuff. So it was just
Big
a blast
team
of
battle
a game.
was my shit.
I put that was fun as well. So yeah, you just put loads of hours on all the modes in that game. It was a blast. So yeah 9 is Halo.
Actually, one of a blast. That was actually my first 360 game when I
me too.
I borrowed Jeremy's copy when I first got the 360. I had no games because I was a broke fucking 13-year-old or whatever. And he let me borrow it, and I was hooked. I remember getting that achievement that was like 42 Gs, and it fucked up my gamer score like the rest of the time. It's still not even.
I think I remember avoiding that.
No, I have no idea what it was, but it was like 42, and it just completely fucked up my gamer score.
Yeah.
So shout out to you.
Yeah, I had like a huge like official clan on that game, or not. I won't say huge. I guess we like. That game had Forge World, and the Forge on it was just unprecedented. Like you could build structures. And, like
I don't know how I forgot about Forge, honestly.
Yeah, it was like the amount they improved Forge was just insane. Like this game almost made my list because it was Bungie's last Halo, and they
it was their swan song.
Yeah, they put so much effort into like changing things and having different stuff. Like even it's in the past from the Master Chief stuff, so like the guns look a little older and stuff. Like even the enemies do. But like I don't know. I had this clan where they would act like they were actually in the military, and we would like run laps as punishment for stuff, and like it was a little ridiculous.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think I was 13. I wouldn't go for that nowadays, but it just meant I spent so much time on that game. Like, just we had like a headquarters built in Forge World. It was ridiculous.
That's lit.
Yeah,
Sounds
it
dope.
was lit.
Yeah. Thank you, Bungie.
Trevor. Yeah. Thanks to Bungie. Shout out.
Shout out. All right, number 8, coming right at you. This one is I spent an extra $30 on this just to get it. This was a little ridiculous. I had just quit my job and I spent $110 on a video game that was only worth $80 because everything was sold out and I was a complete dickhead for not pre-ordering. So shout out to my wallet. I am referencing The Last of Us 2.
Oh.
The Last of Us 2 it might be the most exhilarating story-driven game I think I've ever experienced. It's and I know that's a hot take. I know a lot of people I wouldn't exactly call them credited critics. They're not really thinking straight when they say that, just
I am blocking out this part because Trevor dropped a spoiler. Don't be like Trevor. Don't drop spoilers. Thank you.
I think the way the narrative was written, the dual narrative, I won't go too much into it because I want Cameron to play it and I want David to play it.
Yeah, and it's a brand new game, so like this is
like
and
AC2.
It
is brand new.
So.
Yeah, but just the way that it's structured is beautiful. I had so much fun playing it. I definitely enjoyed it more than the first game. So
wow.
Please,
I'm excited to get into this.
Yes, please play it. Please pick it up. It's fucking violent as hell. It's dark as hell. Very dreary. Don't expect to have some good times on it. It's very stressful. There's certain moments where it turns into a horror game just because of the environments that you're surrounded in, and it's fucking dope. It's just super dope. So yeah, please play The Last of Us 2.
That's what's up. And speaking of horror games,
well,
and speaking of number
Segue.
2, so far each game on my list has had the freaking number 2 in it. But Dead Space 2.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Have you guys played any of these games?
I haven't.
I know a
I've been
couple
wanting
people
to.
who love them, but no.
Yeah, people swear by them for a reason. I think like it's I don't know. I've never been like played a bunch of horror games, but they're like a survival horror, and they get more actiony as the series went on. But I don't know what to say. Like they're such contained games because of where you're at and everything. But like
Very
the lore,
claustrophobic.
yeah, definitely. But they still build the lore out like super well. There's this memorable like story moments. The lore is like it all contributes to like just like the feeling of dread and like the darkness of the story they're telling, and it's like a real sci-fi universe but somehow just told through like pretty contained like environments and stuff.
I got you.
2 I think a lot of people would say Dead Space 1's the best, and that's fine, but I feel like 2 had the balance of improving and having better technology and whatever, but like not going all out action and having some microtransactions like Dead Space 3 did. Shout out to EA. But like yeah, it just had the balance. The story was crazy. Like the main character is a silent protagonist in the first one, and he talks in the next 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy
like
to see. Yeah, and there was something. It has one of my favorite probably moments in any video game, but I can't get into it obviously. And I wouldn't want to spoil it for anyone, but I don't know. It's great. Yeah, just such a pitch perfect like single player like action horror game.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cameron.
All right, Cameron.
Very good. So this might be a hot take for one of our board members here, and I'm gonna get into why.
Oh God, here we go.
But you're gonna have a hotter take to deal with further up the list. Don't worry.
Oh God, I don't like hot takes.
Yeah, I know. That's why this is fun.
I'm joking.
So number 8 on my list is Tom Clancy's The Division.
Ah.
Dang.
So
okay.
what I think you guys kind of already know, just from our conversations and everything, but what the audience is going to find out pretty quickly, I think, is especially as they go through the rest of this list, is that I'm a massive sucker for world building and progression elements. So like from when there's like a super noticeable progression from having nothing to having everything, like the way you build up the base of ops and it like visually changes and all that. I'm a sucker for that, and for especially why I love like sci-fi type shows so much is when a world is kind of built from scratch and you like slowly learn new stuff about it. I'm a sucker for that shit too. So and the storytelling in that game is incredibly vivid, and the storytelling occurs through playing the game as well, which obviously that sounds like every video game, but the way you kind of like acquire new characters and acquire new information is from the missions that you're not necessarily doing for that information. So basically with me being a sucker for those elements in video games, the co-op looter shooter in which the story missions not only build the world and tell the story of how Manhattan became a post-apocalyptic wasteland, but also allows you to build up your own base, which progressively becomes like less decrepit, like I said, and more of a proper base of ops, with like all these different areas of specialization and cool tech, and everything was like a perfect game concept for me. So I was sold on that pretty immediately when I saw it at like E3 or whenever they first announced it, and I pre-ordered it and I waited for it for quite a while. And then beyond the concept and the world building, the rest of the game was clean as fuck, honestly. Like the cover mechanics were super good, the guns were like varied and fun and felt super good. The boss battles were usually pretty different and exciting, and the enemy types were not completely
they weren't necessarily varied, but
they did offer their own sort of challenges in certain ways, and there were definitely ones that you like hated more than others, which is kind of a interesting mechanic to like, but I guess I kind of do. And so generally the game itself was just a lot of fun to play for me. And then why I said this would be a hot take for Trevor is that once you play through the campaign and like slowly build up your base of ops and get all this gear, the end game, which was the Dark Zone, just like I enjoyed it massively for a while, but then it just became an inescapable numbers nightmare of needing to like watch guides on what was the best gear and best guns with the best attachments just to have like a chance at fighting this four-stack grinders that were just bullying you every single lobby you got into.
It became a min-max simulator.
Yeah. Where like it was way less focused on gameplay and way more focused on grinding out like the perfect build.
The numbers on your screen.
So the numbers on your screen, and the numbers were up in the like several thousands. So it wasn't like one to 100 or whatever, and you were trying to get that 100 piece of gear because it was better than 98. It was like the DPS and
very minimal
and
differences
and everything. It was very minimal differences that people like grinded for, and it just became like you either play only this game or you shouldn't bother. So that was unfortunate, but it's still a game that I love to death, especially because it was a little immersive for me because of when it came out, and so I was grinding it. Like I remember having a day off for a snow day, and it's set in the winter in Manhattan, right? And so I would wake up in the snow on the snow day, right? And I'm like, no school, I get to grind the Division. And so I'm in this like wintry wasteland, and then I go outside and it's a fucking blizzard and I'm shoveling snow, and then I come back inside, like dry off all my snow shoveling gear, and I'm back like grinding the Division. And it was cool. It was like a weird immersion kind of a thing that made the game feel a lot better for me as well.
I definitely remember having a hoodie on like the entire time I played it because my apartment was always so chilly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say their interpretation of Manhattan and just the way the world looked was beautiful. It is definitely a fun game to play through, but it didn't have a lot of staying power for me. And even like when I went back, David and Jose, our other friend, they tried to do a playthrough, and I don't know if y'all finished it, but we played like maybe 20 minutes, and I was bored out of my fucking mind.
Yeah, I know. So I was happy to be there. I was like super excited about doing it again.
Dang.
But yeah, you lost the taste for it. But I mean also the fact that it was an open world game that was a 1-to-1 recreation of Manhattan was like such a cool concept for the game. And I remember there's a little piece in the Dark Zone where is like a Christmas decoration that they put up every year, that I remember taking a trip to Manhattan and taking our Christmas card photo in front of that, and it was in the game. And that even can't I can't even imagine comparing that to people who probably like work at places on those streets or like live in those apartments, and they can like go to their house in the game.
Wow,
that was a really cool concept for me.
That is impressive.
So
yeah, shout out the Division.
There you go.
All right,
yeah, that's
so number 7. This one's an oldie but goodie. This was part of a franchise that was already mentioned previous in this list to someone else. Reach was definitely close, but I'm gonna have to give it to Halo 2. Halo 2 is that game to me.
Gotcha.
That was the defining game. Not Combat Evolved. Combat Evolved was absolutely phenomenal, but Halo 2 just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna be a sequel and I'm gonna do it fucking right. So like the dual wielding, that was just enough to get my little 8-year-old PP hard in itself. All the fucking combinations you can have.
8-year-old PPs on the show.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Yeah, that game is timeless. Even to this day, it still holds up multiplayer wise. If you hop on the Master Chief Collection and you wanna hit up some Halo 2, you are absolutely in the right place. Even the remastered version is great. It holds up. It's so much fun. Super competitive. You got your battle rifle. That's all you need. That's it.
Wow,
that's amazing.
That game, it didn't make my list, but I respect the heck out of it. I have a lot of fond memories with that. It was like it might have been my first person shooter. Like my dad and I were at a yard sale down the street, and like it was just laying out on like their side there.
Dude, literally same shit happened to me, but not with the actual game. It was like it was like the multiplayer map, like expansion, and that was when they had to have it on a disc. So it looked like a separate game, but you had to have Halo 2 in order to play the shit that was on that disc.
Wow.
So yeah, that same thing happened to me. It's cool as hell.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The dual wielding was great. It was. I remember. I guess the old version maybe. It was like I feel like it was always so dark. Like, do you remember that, or was that just me? Maybe I had my dark.
Yeah, maybe. It was like not for me. Combat Evolved just it had the same environments for like the most part. It was either you were in a barren landscape with a few rocks, or you were in corridors, and it all looked very monotone, very very cold. Halo 2 gives you like a metropolis, and then you're in space, you're on a fucking star destroyer, like about to be sucked in a black hole. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true.
The scale was nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out Bungie for making absolutely incredible games your entire life.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Super solid. All right.
On to you, David.
Okay, brothers. My number 7 is a really, one of the most recent games one of the most recent games I've beaten, at least. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, baby.
Man,
you gotta summon your inner donkey.
Yeah, I know. You love this game. Shout out to Video Game Donkey. Like,
absolutely.
I don't know, man. It's so I never played a Soulsborne game, or whatever that like subgenre.
Yeah.
This was like my intro to it, and just the story is like subtle but it was really powerful to me, and like the way they tie the themes in with just how the world looks and
speaking of the world looking, dude, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not even like some Rockstar game where it's the highest possible CPU like graphics at the time. It's just the graphics are great, but then like the environments are just like it's like you're playing inside like a painting or something.
Yeah,
and it's so like they use parts of like real Japanese culture and mythology to have like the enemies and all this stuff, and it's like I don't know. Yeah, it's like it's a completely different world that you're getting lost in, but based in real world ideas and like. And, I mean, the freaking gameplay, like, I think it has maybe the best sword fighting in any game I've played. And the last boss fight is one of my favorite boss fights ever. Like, it's, I don't know. Yeah. It's super hard. So if you like single player games and you're fine with the challenge, like, I recommend it to anyone. I don't know.
That's definitely on my list. I have Bloodborne that I need to play, and then I want to go through the Dark Souls trilogy.
Yeah.
I also bought Neo because it was like $10. You might like Neo if you really enjoyed Sekiro that much.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
Yeah, they even had a sequel. I don't know if it came out last year. I think it did. It was super recent, but Yeah, it got raving reviews, so I would check it out. That's a PS exclusive, but
Yeah, stuff. Yeah, in the future I will.
yeah. So
Yeah,
cool.
I mean,
I like
I
the pick.
don't have much to say about that, but on the same topic, I mean, I have seen clips of it and it does look gorgeous. I just like double down on everything you say, just from what I've seen of it. But if you like that, a game that looks super similar, which I think just came out or is about to, is Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of
which is
Tsushima,
getting
yeah.
10 out of 10.
Came out last,
like all
came
over
out
the
last
place.
Friday.
Yeah, like people are loving that game, and it looks very, very similar.
Phenomenal.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know a ton about it, but I know it's the same samurai concept. So
yeah,
that game was actually made by the same people that made the Infamous games.
Interesting.
Sucker Punch. So
people like those. Dang.
yeah, I was kind of hoping that Ghost of Tsushima would fucking tank. That way they could go back to Infamous, but it doesn't seem to be like that's the case. So shout out to them.
Yeah, I'm seeing only good reviews for it. So
yeah.
Yeah, cool. So
Alright,
Cameron.
All right.
Number 7, bitch.
So my number 7 is
Take a look at me, bitch.
I mentioned briefly in my history of gaming that it is technically not my first Call of Duty, because that was World at War for
Oh,
the
here
Wii,
we go.
but it is my first real Call of Duty, which I actually got to play multiplayer for and everything, which is Call of Duty Black Ops.
Shit! I got bamboozled.
Left hook. I know, me too.
I got
the very
bamboozled.
first Black Ops game.
Yo, Black Ops is the titties, my G.
So
that almost made it.
yeah, the campaign was utterly iconic. Like to this day, basically everyone in the community like has heard and understands like the numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
What do they mean?
The numbers is
baby?
like a meme like throughout, like that has almost transcended gaming. To where like anyone involved. So anyway, yeah. The zombies were phenomenal as well. I mean, just the base zombies.
Arguably the
with,
best zombies maps out of the Black Ops games.
I mean, I loved Kino so much. I just ran Kino over and over and over again, whether solo or like with a group. And I remember one of my more devastating fucking gaming memories is having, so you know the teleporter would like kill the zombies, right? On paper.
It got through.
I had a ray gun and a commando and like $20,000, and I was like ready to go to the teleporter. I was gonna pack a punch. I was on round like 28, something like that, and I was set to go. I was gonna run circles around the zombies for the rest of the time, and I was so excited to like set my new personal record and all this. I get in the teleporter, and like as my screen goes white, I get hit twice and I just die with Juggernaut. I got 2 tapped with Juggernaut and I died in the teleporter.
Dang,
and I was so devastated. I was like, this is the worst. But yeah. So anyway, but regardless of that, didn't even kill my. I was pissed, but could not kill my love for the zombies mode in that. And then obviously the real meat of any Call of Duty is the multiplayer, and that really the only fault I found with the multiplayer is that the knifing was trash. Like
the knifing was
I got so mad at the knifing a couple times that I just like went back to Modern Warfare 2. Like I had purchased Modern Warfare 2 and just Commando basically. And then quickscoping was like clunky as fuck, which is like one of the funner aspects.
But when you got that down with the L96, oh my god,
it felt good. Yeah. But other than that, it was great. I mean, Black Ops brought us like so many maps that are being remade over and over again because they're so good. And the highlights are for me were like Firing Range, Jungle, the OG Nuketown, and Summit were all from that game, and that was at release. And at release, it was like 12 maps or something like that, and only like Hanoi was super dark, so it was like hard to play.
Hanoi was a little annoying.
Hanoi was annoying, yeah.
Hanoi.
That was the meme. Yeah, that was the meme.
Yeah,
but other than that, like all the maps were super playable and like enjoyable.
Grid might be my favorite on there.
Grid was good too. I had Grid in that list of 4, but I could have done the 4. And then like all of the others are solid, I'd say. And then there were 3 DLC drops that gave us 12 maps over the course of a few months. And in my opinion, like 6 of those were dope. With the most notable being Stadium.
Yep. Facts.
And then the other 6 were still solid. And
dude, Kowloon.
Even if Kowloon was hype, I mean that first pack was Stadium, Kowloon, Discovery, and
Berlin Wall.
Berlin Wall. Yeah. So those
Yeah,
were
and
all...
Ascension, bro. That's crazy.
And Ascension. Yeah, dude, that was worth
Yeah.
the fucking 1,600 Microsoft points or however much it was.
$15, yeah.
The 1,200, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man. That was a game and a half for me. You know, the
ups.
perks were great. The pro perks were even better. Hashtag bring back pro perks.
Up arrow, please.
And then that game
Stop
also
fucking
had the COD point system, which allowed you to like earn those through contracts and stuff. And then
it was pretty cool.
had the OG wager matches, which were
wager
the
matches
one in the
were lit.
chamber, sticks and stones, gun game, and then the one I forgot about was sharpshooter, which was yeah. But anyway, so those games were fun as fuck. You could actually like be in game chat and free for all, like talking shit to the people you were like taking all their money from. So it was definitely a different multiplayer experience that I don't think we've had since, of like you actually have something to lose other than just losing the game.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that game was just a blast in so many ways. So yeah,
cool.
Number 7.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add, but just the zombies mode. I think just like I think it was the best in that game, but just in general is like maybe the best bonus, like quote unquote bonus, like side mode in any game for me. Like,
yeah, I could totally agree with you. Countless hours worth.
Yeah, I
of
can't
shit
think
on
of
there.
anything else. Yeah,
especially considering that it was expanded so well with the DLC maps.
Yeah.
Like you had Ascension, you had Call of the fucking Dead, you had Shangri-La, and then you had Moon, and then they remade the 4 maps from World at War. Like there was everything that you wanted in that game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. All right, my man.
All right, heading on to number 6, baby.
Wait, before we do that, what game did you think I was gonna say?
MW3.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I thought the same. Yeah.
All right.
That's your number 1, isn't it? Oh, don't tell me. No!
No,
Stop!
Maybe.
Right,
It might be.
Oh god.
All right, so number 6 for me. This was a toss-up between one of the ones that Cameron had mentioned and this one, and it wasn't too much of a toss-up when I actually thought about it. It's Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 is the best Mario Kart ever made. Period. Nothing surpasses it. Dude, it's fucking gorgeous. The way it feels, those wonky ass tracks that if you just if not even when you're just racing, if you just like take the time to maybe go on like a 50cc Grand Prix run and you just observe the tracks, they're stunning. Like what you like drive through is utterly amazing. It's beautiful. The soundtrack is groovy, it's jazzy, it's funky, fucking amazing. I used to throw on my Switch just to hear the intro track when I was getting ready to go somewhere. It's so good.
That's a vibe.
Yeah, the online is pretty catchy too. I wish they had some leaderboard system, but the whole I forget what they call the points, but you get like a certain amount of points based on what you place on in the race, and it shows next to your name, so you see how many people actually play the game. And you start out with like 1,000. I've seen people get up to like $9,000. You get like 25 points if you get number 1. So it takes quite a bit of grinding, but yeah.
So like an elo system, can you lose points?
You can lose points. It depends on how bad you do, but I think anything below ninth place, you lose a few points, but it's nothing serious. It's all in good fun, but cool. It is quite the fun party game mode.
Yeah, that's Nintendo's just I mean top tier at making like just blasts of games. So fun.
Facts.
Just even if nothing else is there, it's just unbelievably fun to play.
I'm a self-proclaimed master at Mario Kart 8, and in my 21st birthday, I had all my good friends except for Cameron. Unfortunately, they came over, and David was there, and I was a few drinks deep, and I think I was finishing like my second Long Island iced tea at the time, and I was like sprawled out on my carpet in my room, drunk as fuck, and I could barely keep like my eyes open. I think I might have been playing with one eye open, and I was still watching these kids. It was so much fun.
Yeah, dude.
So that's muscle memory at that point.
Drunk driving at its finest.
Yeah, it's funny because we had like my 21st birthday. I think we played Mario Kart as well.
Yep.
And I also had a bad reaction. Well, not like I was like 4 drinks in, and I had never had much at all before, and like, yeah, I think the room started spinning when I was into my fourth drink, and I was like, oh no. And you're lovely enough to take care of me and throw me a water bottle. We got rejuvenated and back to playing. But
gotta feed you some water.
Yes, sir. That's a good one.
So yeah, that's my number 6 slot. David, take it away, baby.
I guess it's my turn now. I get to throw in my 2 cents on this series. It's Halo 3 for number 6.
Hey!
There you go. Cameron mentioned it.
I was wondering who was gonna take it.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, yeah, dude. I almost put Reach Cameron, and like I said, Halo 2 had so many memories, and I don't think the 343 games are bad, but like the just I don't know. The Halo 3 had one of the best ad campaigns to me, which I guess isn't part of the game, but the Believe stuff. It just felt like the culmination of like everything, and like you're saving the Earth, and like spoiler alert, not really though. The Arbiter's on your side now.
13 years later, I think you're fine to say whatever you'd like about it.
And that added the co-op campaign as well, where you could play split screen, and one of the homies would be Arbiter, and the other one would be Mess Chief, right?
Yeah, they had co-op from from Combat Evolved.
You could have 4 people.
Shows how much I know.
Yeah, that was the big thing about Halo, was the couch co-op, and that was why it was such a big deal that they fucking yanked it from Halo 5. Like, you have to be brain dead not to understand the series and why it's so great. So cross our fingers that Halo Infinite's good, please. For the love of God, we deserve a good Halo title.
Yeah, I mean, Halo 3. So, what was it? Did it introduce Forge? I feel like it did, or maybe that was.
Fuck, I think so.
Because that's crazy. I used to spend hours in like freaking game mode with my friend like CJ and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I would meet people on there. It was my first. Nice. That was my first game I played on Xbox Live. Dang, the fact that it introduced Forge. But I don't know. Yeah, it just felt like the perfect culmination, and like it got me connected to Master Chief as a character.
Yeah, it's monumental.
Yeah, everything just seems to be pitch perfect about that game. Like they put their all into it. I don't know. It's one of the most beloved shooters of all time. I don't need to say too much, but
nope.
Yeah,
you could literally just drop the name and just walk away, and everyone would realize that shit ran 360 for 3, 4, 5 years. So
I know. Yeah.
So we're on number 6, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so another one where you can just kind of drop the name and walk away, but I am going to say my 2 cents about it a little bit. Is Skyrim.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Trevor said, you drop the name and walk away. I mean, it's almost everything to be said about this game has been said. It's just a blast of an open world adventure game with so like incredibly large amounts of stuff to do. And like I think I played through it over Christmas break a bunch, and I just like playing through the main story, and I was doing loads of side quests. I was just taking my sweet time, and like as I'm doing loads of side quests, I just have like random dudes coming up to me on the street, and I just have 20 miscellaneous things as I'm just like that I can't afford to pay attention to because I'm doing the other 8 quests I have. So I love games like that where it just loads you up on shit to do and you just go through it at your leisure. But things that that's the progression element bit. Obviously, that's any RPG where you're just this little bitch boy on the execution block, and then you become the Dragonborn and you level up all your stats and your equipment, and you're just a complete badass, just taking on hordes of enemies. So yeah, I mean, I just love that kind of adventure style, and it's a really good, fun game. Just a massive time sink.
Yeah, it's funny, like you were saying, you can just say it. Like it was the biggest game when it came out, and like it was funny watching like I had all these like jock gamer friends who were like in sports and would play Call of Duty almost exclusively, and they'd be like, "Hey bro, I'm on Skyrim killing dragons, bro. Like don't bother me right now." It's so funny. Like they would never be into any other fantasy thing before that.
Yeah, for
sure. They had to admit Skyrim was just great. Dang.
Cool.
All right.
So 5, we're halfway through. This is
we're already
a longer episode.
Yeah. This is like the upper echelon, top 5 now.
Yep. So this one was already mentioned. Sad face. Not much needs to be said already. We've already covered it. It's Modern Warfare 2 for me, number 5.
There you go, brother.
That's that was my first Call of Duty. I'm not gonna say too much about it just because we already discussed it. But
I can give you your perspective.
Yeah, it was my first PS3 game. Like it was the one that I opened up on Christmas Day and fucking played it. Jeremy and I played that shit
No better feeling.
so much. Like
yeah.
Dude, it was immaculate. It was like I was bursting with joy, like how excited I was to play that game.
Yeah.
Shit, Jeremy and I have so many. That's the reason why Jeremy and I are friends, is because he had asked me if I had a PS3, and at the time I said yeah, because I was playing on my grandfather's PS3 at the time. Anytime I would go over there, and so he asked me for my PSN, and that's 11 years ago that we've been friends. So if I didn't know Jeremy, I wouldn't know David, and this podcast wouldn't be born. So thank you to Modern Warfare 2. It's forever in my heart.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
All the time that we spent on clans and Todd. I had a friend, Eric. We would just we had, I think our main clan was Ninja, and I had another friend, Nico, and our clan tag would be Mist, so it would be like Mist Ninja and shit. It was like super corny, but
yeah.
We would just sit there and 1v1 on Rust and 2v2 on Rust, or search and destroy on high rise with nothing but quick scoping. Is good times. Super good times.
Yeah. I didn't even mention quickscoping when I brought it up. That was like it was just huge in that
It was
game.
the birth of it wasn't the birth of it, but it was the FaZe clan, the montages. That's when it really kicked off. Yeah.
Yeah, it like became a genre and a sport of itself. Like,
yeah.
Crazy.
So if y'all are listening, shout out Nico, shout out Eric, love y'all. Thank you for the good times.
Awesome. Okay, well, number 5 for me, guys, is this is probably one that people talk about a lot. Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt.
Ooh, Brian's gonna love you for that, bitch.
Oh yeah, Brian does love this game. Yeah, we gotta talk about it more.
I said this to you before the podcast.
Yeah.
Where I was like, if I had played this game, it would probably be in my top 10 from what I've heard about it.
Yeah, it was funny when you mentioned that. I was like, but
you were just stoned.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, people have talked about this to death, but you guys haven't played it. I'm not gonna get too much into the plot or anything, but it's probably the most time I've spent on a single player game, and and it's all so well written that it just feels like a cohesive experience. Like side quests tie into main quests, and everything is just, it looks great. I mean, like I played Witcher 2 and I tried to play Witcher 1, but it's like half broken, even though like I think the story is good throughout all of them, but Witcher 2 is a great game, and then Witcher 3 is like, it is really high on my list, and I didn't even think it would be this high necessarily, because I just finished the DLCs like this year.
Blood and Wine.
Yeah, there's Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. I think Blood and Wine is like well, we just talked about that Black Ops DLC, but Blood and Wine is up there as one of my favorite DLCs.
Yeah.
Like each DLC is its own. Blood and Wine is
It's
longer.
a legitimate expansion.
But yeah, I mean, Blood and Wine is longer than The Witcher 2. Like it's stupid. Like people talk about how much content they give out, and yeah, CD Projekt Red, everyone's hyped for Cyberpunk
2077, baby.
Oh my god, that's gonna take the one spot for sure.
Please do not get delayed again.
Yeah, but Witcher 3 is the reason why people are hyped, and then also you guys, like, everyone's seeing the trailers just look amazing, but like people know their track record. It's like it has hundreds of hours of content. It's all well written. It's so mature, and like it's not like some kind of like aimed at like kids or whatever, which those games are good too. But yeah, I don't know.
They're
great.
one of those rare breed developers where you hear their name and it just screams quality. So
yeah.
Granted, I tried twice. I tried twice to play this game. I popped it in like 3 years ago. I had bought it on sale during like a Christmas sale at GameStop, and I never played it because I had too much on my plate at the time. So I ended up playing it like a year and a half later, and I got maybe an hour into it, and I stopped for some reason, and I just went on about my day, and it never came back. And then I tried again, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I couldn't do it. I stopped exactly where I began last time. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't hook me like it does. But shout out to anyone that loves that game.
Yeah, it's that's fair. Like it's a slow burn, and you got to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah,
and it was more of a hook for me to play Witcher 2 leading up to that, even though the games have their own stories. But yeah,
I guess I'm not too big on fantasy type games. Like I do enjoy Fable for what it is, but that kind of like world, I guess it just doesn't hold me like other worlds do.
That's understandable, yeah. Well, there you go.
All right.
Cameron.
Number
So the
5.
5 spots. This is my hot take since I know how Trevor feels about this game.
Here we fucking
But
go.
my big disclaimer with that is that he went back and played it, I think, like 6-7 years after release. So my number 5 is Far Cry 3. Yeah.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with this garbage.
Oh my god.
I'm joking.
Like,
Yeah. So
I knew it. The second you said it, I knew it.
Yeah, so I believe I got this game on release. I think I saw everything coming up to it and seeing it get hyped up and everything, and I had never even heard of the Far Cry series before. And so I looked into it, and they were like, "Nah, you don't need 1 and 2. They're separate stories." So I was like, "Okay,
Yeah, they were fucking rough.
Yeah. So I got it on release. The progression element, once again, that I'm a sucker for, was a lot of fun. You get all these skill points that you get from like exploring and hunting and all this stuff, and you upgrade your gear and everything, and that you spend on new skills, which were mostly like more creative and deadly takedowns in the game, which was one of the best mechanics of the entire game. Was like the stealth components and the takedowns and like throwing rocks to distract enemies and so I love those kind of stealth oriented mechanics. And so the fact that like a huge part of the game was like clearing out enemy outposts and bases to like clear the area of enemies generally and like reduce influence, which you like didn't have to do, but you should basically. And so you clear out like this entire outpost without being detected at all, with nothing but like a bow and arrow and knife takedowns. It was an absolute fucking blast. And Voss, so you feel differently about Voss than I do because you played Far Cry 4, which had Pig and Min.
Yeah.
And then you played Far Cry 3, which had Voss.
Yeah.
So I like Voss as a villain better than I like Pig and Min because Voss was my first exposure to that sort of like true psychotic, I'm gonna kill you at any time kind of villain.
Yeah, you were talking about like a meme, or not a meme, but something transcending from video games to just general life with the numbers Mason. That's another thing with the insanity line.
I was about to say that. Yep. I mean, his whole "Do you know the definition of insanity?" speech is completely iconic in gaming, where he's like about to execute you, and he gives you this whole long speech about like his just everything. It was just so good. It was so fucking good. I loved it.
I'm sitting in my chair, just shut up, just fucking shoot me, shut up.
Yeah, we felt differently about that game. So it's the first game I ever got 100% of the achievements in. Because I had such a blast playing it, I like wanted to hit that milestone, so I spent the time like finding all the little like scrolls and random collectibles around the map that were like certain achievements.
Shout out to not getting anything on Xbox for getting 100% achievements.
Yeah, shout out that. Yeah, it's kind of brutal. When I learned that PlayStation had that, I was like kind of squinting my eyes at Microsoft.
That's why I want to,
really,
dude.
guys?
That's one of the very many reasons why I want to go to PS.
Yeah. So anyway, all in all, just absolutely loved that game to death. Played through it a few times. There's a lot of good moments, a lot of weird moments, but I just love that game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Story and gameplay.
Yeah, it's awesome when a game can give you both, and like the story and even one specific character just transcends the game itself. It's kinda crazy. All right, Trevor.
All right, baby. Top 4. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Birdman rub my hands together for this one. This one should be higher, man. I can't. It hurts that it's number 4, but I'm gonna have to toss it. It's Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is fun as a motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
It is. If you're looking for the most adrenaline pumping, big dick energy game out there on the market right now, Doom Eternal has your back. It is nothing but steroids and just beat the fuck out of everything you see and just rip it apart as fast as possible. It's fucking incredible. I remember Cameron and I played it together on the mic with his girlfriend, and we all enjoyed the shit out of it. It was up there with Last of Us 2 in terms of my game of the year for this year. So I can't really say too much about it, but just it's a load of fun.
Yeah, I can try to add a little. Like I played a little after you guys, and you were like, I can't recommend it enough. And like
Yeah.
I think I sent you that text. Like this is the most like testosterone pumping, like
Yes.
adrenaline filled game I've ever played. It was close to making my list, but like I
That's
don't know.
another one I thought we were gonna tie on.
Yeah, it maybe should have in some ways, but it's like it has great lore, but the story isn't amazing to me. But it's fine.
Yep.
Like it doesn't really matter. Like literally, you can sell this game to someone. Like if you like first person shooters, if you've ever liked any first person shooter in your life,
All you need to know.
it's like the most perfectly balanced, crafted like
Arcade shooter.
Yeah, arcade, somewhat old style, but updated with like just an insane amount of mechanics, like first person shooter there is pretty much. Like
Yep.
it's so good. Yeah.
And then once you get the upgrade for the super shotgun, where it has the hook and it ignites them, and you get the armor. Anytime I was low on health, I would just whip that bad boy out and just slap faces, man.
Yeah, like the type of game this is, you can get an upgrade where you get a. What's that?
You get an upgrade for using the guns. Like that was one of the cool things about it.
Yeah, and you have a hook chain on the end of a shotgun that brings you to people, and you can get an upgrade where the chain is on fire, and you light them on fire when you hook on, and you fly to them.
Yeah,
it's
and that mechanic in that game, if you set enemies on fire and then you proceed to kill them while they're on fire, they drop armor.
Yeah,
so it's like, very
which becomes
crucial
like,
that you do that.
What I was saying is it becomes like necessary because of how intense the encounters are and how many enemies they throw at you all at the same time.
Yep.
Where you're just like,
it gets very overwhelming.
You're so fucking fast, but you have to be so fast. Like standing still is death. You just have to just move. Yeah, it's insane. That's the adrenaline pumping, is you just have to be just all over the fucking place and just absolutely slaying out.
One con of that game, the power-ups weren't very they weren't very apparent in their location on the stage. So you would walk into a room and you would clear the demons out. That's basically the entire game. But in Doom 2016, they basically emphasize power-ups. And maybe it's just because you're more powerful in Eternal. But the Doom 2016 power-ups, like you got Berserk, you've got the one-shot kills, you got all the super speed power-ups. It was a ton of fun to use those, and I maybe used like 5 power-ups the entire time on Doom Eternal. So that was definitely a drawback for me. But overall, if you're looking for a lot of fun, just pop that shit in. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay.
The last thing I'll say about that is I also really wanted to put it on my list. It is unfortunately not on it. Yeah, I know.
I had,
but it was just
that was one of the ones that
it was really hard not to, but I ended up not doing it just because of the way I was the metric I've been using to order the list and everything. So yeah. Anyway, continue, David.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cool. My number 4 is. Okay. Yeah. You guys have both played it, but I don't know. I feel like Trevor won't agree, but Cameron might. But maybe not. Maybe not at all. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hey there, Sonny. You want to guess what my number 4 is?
Hey!
No way, bro.
Yeah, it's Red Dead Redemption 2. So you go ahead. You go ahead and give your experience.
Yeah. Let's just talk. Yeah, we can just talk about it. Like, I don't know. Like, dang, dude, I want to freaking talk about it and then ask what it means to you too. Like, the thing about it, I'll say maybe the biggest. Like, there's some cons, like the gameplay isn't super updated, and it's like you could say it's a little weaker than it should be. And the only other one is, you can get a few different endings, and some really would not have satisfied me, just to say the least.
No. And it's by doing little shit. Like, you could easily fuck it up.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's, some of it is the way you play the game, and some of it is just sort of little stuff. So that's what I'll say. But like, I don't know. To me, this has the best graphics of any game I've played, and I played it on a 720 computer or a little TV, like 26-inch on an Xbox. Not even. I guess I don't even know if it's on PC. I guess it is now, but
it is. Came out last year.
Like, you can see light shining through people's freaking noses and ears when you're talking to them at different times of day. Like, you look at different freaking like specks of dust on your coat. It's unreal how good it looks.
Every fucking like blade of grass, every plant, every flower.
Yeah,
it's like you just go up on a mountain and you look over the landscape, and it's just utterly gorgeous. It is.
There's a reason why that game took 7 years to make.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It is so completely gorgeous. Yeah.
Like, and what's up?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say like, just what adds to it being like so gorgeous is like the variety of environments. Like some of it is just like nasty swamps and like the
Yep.
fictional version of Louisiana, but then you go out into like these wide open prairies with like canyons and like mountains and like it's just like they just have. And you go to a city like it's everything is just done perfectly and it's unbelievably immersive and I want to throw it to you, Cameron, too, and of course you, Trevor. Give your
Yep.
input too. But like, the story is easily one of my favorites in games. It
The
shouldn't be
voice
surprising.
acting alone, I will say,
Yeah.
is top fucking tier.
I have
Like,
that.
it's
I have
S
that written
tier
down.
for
Is
sure.
that the voice actor for Arthur, the main character, won an award at the Game Awards for his performance.
Yeah,
he won best performance
Troy
in
Baker?
voice acting.
What's his name?
I don't remember, but I
No, yeah, that wasn't Troy Baker for him. I don't think he might have been in it though.
Let me see.
I can look it up real quick.
Y'all talk. I'll look it up.
Or you already got it. Okay.
Yeah. Of all the even like like the visuals and gameplay are great, especially visuals. But the best thing to me is the story and the voice acting and how the story is presented, and it has
Roger
like,
Clark.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
bad.
Yeah. He's a great voice actor. Everyone in it is.
No,
Yeah,
he's Dutch. I'm pretty sure he's Dutch.
Troy Baker.
Yeah.
I could see
let
that.
me-
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all keep talking.
Okay. Yeah. It's like The Witcher 3. It's so mature and like grounded and I don't know. Yeah. Like I don't like. Dang, dude. So many emotions. The cinematography of the cutscenes. Cinematography is not something you usually talk about with games, but they'll just have amazing shots that like send chills down your spine. It has some of the best music and use of music in games to me. Like, yeah, dude. Like, I don't know. Do you want to add to like the story stuff and all the presentation, Cameron? Like,
yeah. I mean, you said some more insightful stuff than I would have for sure about the music and the cinematography and everything. But yeah, I mean, it was amazing to me the level of immersion from the game being gorgeous, where you like you leave. It sounds ridiculous to talk about, but in gaming now, we're seeing creators like compete to have these sort of elements that make the game this much more immersive. So where you're in Valentine and it's all muddy and you're leaving footprints in the mud, and you start up in the snow, right, and you're leaving footprints in the snow, and you move slower, and you're like there's different walking motions for trudging through thick heavy snow and all this, and and then I would just sit around for an hour and go hunt. Like there's all the legendary animals and stuff, and you can do all the tracking and so something that's barely even a centerpiece of, not even close to being a centerpiece of the game, I mean, is still just so much fun to do.
Hooking.
And, what'd you say, Trev?
Just hooking. Just adding to what you were saying.
Oh yeah.
And like part of the real quick, part of the immersion is like we're talking about the voice acting. They re-recorded like you a lot of times in Rockstar games you're like riding or driving with someone, and that's when you get some of the exposition and they're talking. But they re-recorded all their lines so they yell if you're like far away on horseback. Like it could be more immersive. It feels like.
Yeah, and if something happens, like if you run your horse into a tree or something, they'll be like, "Oh, where was I?" Like, and they restart. Like if something happens, then it feels like things are happening and that the NPCs are reacting to it or respectful of it or interacting with the environment in the way that you in Arthur's shoes would like expect it to happen.
Yeah,
and they do that in The Last of Us 2 as well.
Yeah,
which is
cool.
pretty funny. They'll be like, they'll just talk, and maybe y'all come across a zombie and they're just like in the middle of a conversation. You kill the shit out of it, and then they're just like, "Oh, what were you saying?" And then they just keep talking. It's really cool. I like that feature.
Yeah. Man, dude.
Yeah, and then like even though the combat was realistic to, I think it was, what is it, like 1899 or something like that?
Yeah.
It's like about to be 1900. Even though the combat was realistic with the kinds of guns you have, they still felt good to me, at least. Like you could you still felt like you were popping heads, and especially like you take a guy's head off from a mile away and it does the slow motion and you see his hat popping off and the blood leaving the back of his head, and then it shows Arthur's like gritty ass face, and you're like, yeah, I'm a badass, I'm a fucking cowboy, eat my dick.
That's true.
So it was like, it was, even though it was to the times, it still felt good. You still had fun getting in gunfights and having those encounters.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, gameplay isn't weak. It was like, people were saying it didn't improve much, but I think the feel of it just got better.
For
And
sure.
yeah, I like something people don't know about me is like I really want, like, I get into westerns, like certain westerns I really love, and I like the genre even though it's not popular anymore. Red Dead Redemption 2, considering movies and everything, is my favorite western ever. It's that good. I don't know. It's
That's
like if you
definitely not
like,
a hot take.
yeah,
Like I
if
said,
you like good writing, I mean, come on.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. No, for
the
sure.
characters alone are worth, like, if that was just translated into a movie based on the cutscenes, I would watch it.
Yeah.
It's great. So cool.
Okay.
Glad y'all enjoy that game.
Yeah, as long as we're I guess if we're finished with that, that's me and Cameron. So.
All right, top 3, baby.
Oh wow, yeah. Dang.
So I have
yeah.
2 games on this slot that I'll briefly mention the other one. I think I've set my heart on one that I like the most. You guys, I know David grew up on this series a little bit. I know he's definitely fallen out of love with it. But I'm gonna have to toss my number 3 slot to Mr. Pokemon Emerald version.
Okay.
This was my companion in the car rides on those 45 to an hour minute car rides. I would never ask my mom, "Hey, where are we? Or are we there yet?" I always wanted to be in the car playing that shit. Dude, my Game Boy SP it always had a Pokemon game, and it was pretty much this one for the longest time. That and Fire Red.
Yeah.
This was the first one that got me into strategy guides too, which that's a feat of its own. Just the strategy guides back then, at least. Nowadays they're really low quality and they split them for monetary reasons, and it's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But this one, yeah, like the strategy guides back then would include the Pokédex and the guide through the game, and it wasn't so much that you needed the guide to get through the game because the games were easy as piss, but it was just the simple fact of thumbing through it and looking at the animation style and the way the games look and the characters being put onto the page, and you're just like, oh, this is what they would look like.
The strategy guides were like books, and it's a testament that, like, I would have the game and I would beat it, and like I would still go to GameStop or whatever and be like, "Oh God, I want that strategy guide." Like,
Facts, because they just look gorgeous. Like you just want to display it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It also Hoenn is the 3rd region in the games, and it's got my number 1 Pokemon in it. It's Mudkip. I could never shy away. I did go through and played with all the 3 different starters, and Mudkip was just that boy. Just that dude. So. Pokemon Emerald is the shit with the Battle Frontier too. I never got too much into it because I was a pleb. I didn't know how to EV train. I didn't know how to breed really. I never used breeding. I was a super pleb.
Oh,
but,
for sure. We were young.
It's timeless to me.
So was Emerald tied with something else? Or?
Yeah. So Emerald was tied with Platinum.
Oh yeah.
And Platinum is the re-release of Sinnoh, which is the Region 4 games, Diamond and Pearl. And the Platinum was probably my overall favorite, but just the childhood in me wants to stick with Emerald. But Platinum is great. The Sinnoh is probably my favorite region out of I think there's 8 now. So yeah, that was a close tie for me.
That's awesome because I feel like you said, I kind of fell out of love with the series, I guess. I like Fire Red was close to making my list, and it is a super old one, and I would play like Game Boy on the playground and stuff like we were talking about last episode.
It aged amazingly though. Those games are timeless.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, it's awesome that you like rate Platinum so highly, because I feel like that was maybe the generation people started getting more cynical and like old head about it.
Facts.
But like there's still, especially for kids coming up nowadays, I feel like there's still so much love to be had, and like, the creativity of the world and stuff. Like, it's that's why it's like one of the biggest franchises in the world.
Period.
And it's crazy. Like I didn't think of it this way before, but like those games introduced everyone I know basically to like turn-based RPGs. Like I get like
Yep.
people play Final Fantasy for sure, but Pokemon was by far like the biggest thing.
It was the mainstream version of it. Even the
Yeah.
anime was great.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't not talk about the anime either. Like, or I guess cartoon. I don't know if it's considered an anime or not, but
No, it's an
Yeah,
anime.
yeah.
yeah. I was talking to Rocio about it. It's just one of those like widespread animes that kind of just looks Americanized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Just in terms of how easy it is to jump in, like versus like watching a true anime. I'm not gonna say that Pokemon isn't a true anime, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's definitely accessible and yeah.
Yeah, it's quite entertaining.
Yeah, it's classic. Cameron, did you ever have experience playing like Pokemon back in the day, or?
I played Pokemon Yellow on my Game Boy Color, and I don't think I ever beat it. But I played the beginning of it quite a few times. I think it had like very little saving capability. I don't know why. Maybe I was just too little and too dumb to actually save the game properly. But yeah, I played a bit of Pokemon, but not as much as really either of you or even close to a lot of other people. So
yeah.
But I still have a love for the game, and I played more of my experience with Pokemon was a console game my friend had that was like Pokemon Stadium or something like that, where you would like
classic.
I don't know if that I think I might be saying the wrong title for the game I'm thinking of, but
was it on the Wii?
I think it was on the Xbox, like 360. Or even maybe original Xbox, but there was like 100 tiers, and you would have a Pokemon that you would train, and you would have to go through all 100 tiers to like beat the game. And at the top tier was like which one of the God Pokemons or whatever, one of the legendary ones.
Yep, legendaries. The Ubers.
So I know a fair amount about it, and I did watch a fair amount of the of like Indigo League as a kid. But
big ups.
No, I never really had. I never progressed through, the new versions of Pokemon like you guys did, and like you talk about doing.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Well, either way, shout out to Pokemon.
Absolutely, yeah.
Childhood love that will never extinguish.
That's what's up for sure. Okay, well,
Number 3, baby.
now we're in the top 3, so it's getting crazy. Yeah, this is almost complete opposite direction almost of where Trevor was going. This is a really recent game that I guess helped define like some of my college years. And Overwatch is my number 3. Yeah,
cool.
Like, it's
I respect it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It helped me stay connected with you guys, home and stuff. And,
Big facts.
For sure.
Yeah, even when I had I don't know, freaking 5 megabyte per second Wi-Fi in my sophomore year, like Garbo apartment. Yeah, always lagging. But like, yeah, this is probably one of my most played like just multiplayer games, up there with some of the Call of Duties and Halos.
Same.
And I get that like people have a bunch of fair criticisms of it, like especially nowadays, people talk about the balancing and the slow drip of characters, and that's all true. But like, for I don't know, I feel like for the period of time, I don't know, for like 2 years, it was just it was
flaws. The game for us.
Yeah, it had its flaws in balancing, but every character felt like they fulfilled the character fantasy of like you're that type of dude, like a ninja or a knight or something. But you're playing against people, so it seems almost impossible to do, but you still feel powerful until you just get bodied by freaking, some kids that are better than you. But like, yeah, like the team.
Well said.
Well, like one of the things that like facilitated its blowing up was the fact that you didn't have to be good at FPSs to enjoy that game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Half the cast, maybe less than half the cast, like truly needs your FPS skills. The rest, you could just walk around and just, as long as you knew the character, you didn't have to aim too much. Like obviously you do have to aim and you do need to damage people, but
I've got you in my sights.
Yeah, like you have the McCrees, you have the soldiers, but then you have your Lucios, your Reinhardts, your
Mercy,
even Mercy. Yeah, you have all those. Moira fucking locks on. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that variety, it was like they would have the perfect team dynamics. Again, some balancing issues at certain points, but it was like all these roles you could fill out in different ways, and like the synchronicity of your abilities and working together felt better than almost anything.
Oh, the wombo combos. They were
The
gorgeous.
wombo combos.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
Happy feet.
What you would do, like Diva Bomb and
yeah, I would do grab,
nerf this and grab, or Hanzo ult, or I mean, grab sets up a lot of
so
things.
many.
That's
grab
why
was a
cooldown is so
facilitator
massive,
for
but
sure.
Yeah, there was a lot of things where, and then you're like, we got him, and then let's break it down, and then there you just fucking get completely decked because they have a million
this is
health.
my ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. We have a lot of shitty Overwatch memes that have just been beaten into the ground by being said over and over again, so they don't even sound like the original voice lines.
I have a feeling that you fucking annoying as fuck.
So yeah, we have a lot of inside jokes based on Overwatch and a lot of connections that we had there, and we just played that game to fucking death.
Before we move on from this game, we need to say our mains. So
we definitely do. I was gonna say.
Yeah, I played Zarya almost exclusively. That's my chick. Catch me on the battlefield with that bitch, and her fucking ult got neutered like a while back, and it's still great, but I can't not play her at least a few times during a comp session. So that's
Trevor's a killer. Zarya. My main was Reinhardt.
Big ups.
Yeah, my second was Roadhog, but then he got killed like Zarya got killed.
Neutered.
Yeah,
it was tragic, honestly. But
it was a castration.
Reinhardt. Yeah, I think like a perfect example of what Trevor was mentioning. Like you don't need to aim; you just swing the hammer. But there's a huge learning curve that's accessible.
When to shield, when to ult, when to fire strike.
Yeah, it's like he's like the quintessential tank. It's so fun. You're like learning spacing and timing and just
there's a lot. It's super in depth when you actually like break it down. There's a lot of shit that goes on.
Yeah, and
position is everything.
Yeah, like when you get into the game enough, you know exactly why you lost a fight, and you know exactly why you won one, and that's what's so exhilarating about it. It's like every little thing counts. And so Cameron.
Yeah, I was when we first started out, I played a lot of Tracer for sure, and then fell into Soldier because I was Call of Duty boy. So we would literally call Soldier 76 just Call of Duty or whatever. I forget.
Yeah,
I think so.
We just call him Call of Duty.
Yeah. So he was just such a easy damage to play, honestly, and with the self healing, you could kind of do your own thing and like not put stress on the healers. So like we could have a Mercy on the tanks, and I could handle myself from like high ground and just be lasering kids. So and then when we came back to the game, I said in episode 0, we played like season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. And then I think I took about like 5 or 6 seasons off and came back in like 13, 14, something like that. And then played a fuckload of McCree. Like I was just loving McCree.
McCree's great.
Yeah. So mostly damage. I also pride myself on being pretty good Zarya. Not as good as Trev, because Trev just has that love. He's got that sort of puts himself in her shoes kind of a thing there, where he just is Zarya. Where I'm just playing Zarya. But I think I'm pretty good at Zarya for sure. But mostly Soldier and then McCree.
Cool.
Yeah. That's what's up. Great game.
It's all you. Top 3.
Number 3, sir. And I would
like to flex for a second on behalf of at least Trevor and I, because I remember we duoed, and our duo to our simultaneous peaks.
Our duo team was
Tracer
and Zarya.
Yeah, for sure. To our simultaneous peaks was that Trevor got to, was it Master? You were like,
I did get
3,600, and I was Diamond at I think 3,300, about that. So we were doing simultaneously and pushed Trevor over the Master line, and that's kind of where we fell off, I think.
That's about where we fell off. I fulfilled my destiny and I was done.
Yeah, that's pretty great. I gotta throw out that I reached Diamond too. I was high Diamond, just so people know.
Yeah.
I was definitely jealous of Master, but Trevor earned it. And I usually don't get that good at multiplayer games. We all get good.
We were all great. Yeah, big facts.
Pretty much.
All right, Cam. We're at an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I think we're keeping the conversation flowing and everything. So
absolutely.
So in a shake up from the console trend and everything, I mean, I guess you had a Game Boy game there, but My third place is Minecraft, which I guess actually I have played a fair amount on the console as well. But
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of Minecraft. I used to watch Minecraft YouTubers largely.
Get out of my room! I'm playing Minecraft.
Yeah, that was me, dude. But so Toby Games was one I watched like a lot of. And then I honestly forget a lot of that. I should have looked it up, but like old like golden age Minecraft YouTube. Achievement Hunter. I used to watch every single Achievement Hunter Minecraft Let's Play.
I did too, dude. Yeah.
They were so fucking funny. The way they carried it on, and they would set up events and stuff like that and play games, and it was such a literal sandbox where they could set up all this stuff and have this ongoing world with all their houses and the achievement plaza and everything. And I saw an animated clip from that earlier, and it was like a rush of nostalgia. But yeah, I'm by no means a Minecraft expert for sure anymore, since of what they've added to the game in the last like 4 years or so. But I used to play on this towny economy type multiplayer server where I had a couple of my own towns. So like once enough time went on, they would reset the server entirely, so all the towns would go down, so you'd have to go from the ground up, which was cool. Because even if you like came late to the party, you could still have a chance of like being a top town, that kind of thing. Which is a super nerdy way to play Minecraft, but I enjoyed the fuck out of it. So
give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna mute myself and go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
And then I played. There are all the sorts of mini games, like Skyblock, where you start off with like a tiny island and just like a tree, and the materials to generate cobblestone, and you would build just like a massive island for yourself, and you would try to, and through like establishing challenges, completing challenges, you would get different materials and stuff, so that you would be able to now generate like this new kind of material. So you would then be granted, like, you complete this challenge and you're granted a sheep, so now you have wool, so now you can make like all this other stuff, and then you get like certain kind of crops. And I'm going on too long, but
Skyblock, and then Skyblock was fantastic. Yeah, I was bad at it,
was great. Yeah. And then I played Sky Wars, and then Minecraft Hunger Games, which are like the OG battle royale, and anyone who says different is a liar.
Yeah, a lot of people know that.
It's the birth of the battle royale franchise. Before there was PUBG, before there was DayZ, there was Minecraft Hunger Games.
Truly, yeah. I doubt most people nowadays know that. Yeah. I remember like the videos of that stuff were lit, and I was like, dang, Hunger Games in a video game, and now it's like every video game.
Yeah,
we bet.
Yeah.
Hey.
So Minecraft. That's number 3. Had an absolute blast over a very long period of time on that game. It's the most replayable game in existence, probably, where you can just, if you're feeling it, you go start a new world, and you mine and you craft, and other
and then you put them together and you get Minecraft.
Boom. Yeah, that's a classic for a
I
reason.
said that as a joke that sounded like I was serious, and now I'm cringing my head off at myself. But anyway,
it's all good.
Yeah, so that's Minecraft. And I don't know if you want to share your experiences a little bit, David. I know you said.
Oh yeah, I mean, I probably didn't get into it as much as you. I was probably into the YouTubers just as much. Like Achievement Hunter formed part of my sense of humor as a kid.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. Captain Sparkles, Yogg's Cast, like a bunch of Minecraft people would do, like, because you could just do so much with that. People would mod it and have their own like crazy, like, add electricity to it in different ways and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's a classic for a reason. I don't play it much nowadays, but it's just like the ultimate sandbox of a kid could have fun in it, and so can their older brother or their dad or mom or whoever. Like, all ages can get into it to a certain degree.
Yeah,
I actually never touched Minecraft in my life, but respect to those who enjoyed it.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, we on to number 2?
Yeah, dude.
We are.
All right, drum roll, baby, please. This was this is a PlayStation 4 exclusive game. My actually top 2 games are both PlayStation 4 exclusives. Just a testament to how fucking great those games are, and how much you need to own a PlayStation. It's just.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Is it Spider-Man?
Man, you know me, baby.
Yeah.
Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
That shit.
yeah, that game looks so good.
It's incredible. This was actually my first platinum on PlayStation. I beat this game in 4 days. I could not put it down for the life of me.
Wow.
I 100% that shit. A couple of the trophies were a little annoying like trying to stop crime, and you had to 100% all districts, and it was a little annoying. But overall, oh my god, such a blast to play. It's the epitome of that meme where it's like, oh my god, 8 out of 10. It really makes you feel like Spider-Man, but it does. It really fucking does, man. It's got the web slinging down. The visuals were powerful. Like the city looks incredible, and just the amount of agility and movement that is at your disposal is just, it's unheard of. The different upgrades for your bombs, your combat, the way you're able to do basically any encounter in any way you like it's a testament to what a true game should be in my eyes. So that's my number 2.
Wow, okay. Yeah. It's one of those games that makes you want to switch over to Sony if you have an Xbox. So.
Facts.
I've said my piece.
Well, yeah. It's funny you mentioned the makes you feel like meme, because my number 2 is one of the
Batman,
games that... Is it? Yeah, one of the games that started with it, Batman Arkham City.
Arkham City, baby.
Yeah. And another number 2 in the series. I have like 4 or 5 on here. Dang, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, for some reason. Dang, dude. I mean, Arkham Asylum was like mind-blowing when it came out.
Facts.
Yeah, just Arkham City being free roam was kind of crazy, and just I put it above Asylum because going back to it, I feel like they just improved the combat, and the story was more like they brought in all the Batman villains, and like you just got hyped over it.
Mm-hmm.
And like the boss fights were better, like the Mr. Freeze and like some other ones, like
the Penguin.
Yeah, like dang, dude, I don't know. The story was perfect. It was like. It's like that series, the Arkham series, is honestly like one of the things that makes Batman one of my favorite superheroes. Like people get him to him from comic books or movies or whatever, but like, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just, yeah, it's perfect.
I wear my Batman shirt proudly because of those games.
Yeah, dude, like Rocksteady knocked it out of the park.
Origins not so much, but I think that was a different studio.
Yeah, it was a side thing. But. Yeah, it was like I replayed the game like 4 times. I usually don't replay games. I don't know. Maybe more.
It looked incredible at the time, and it still fucking does. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely a stellar experience.
Yeah, and you got Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy from the
animated. Baby.
I mean, some of the best voice acting and character acting out there. It's just ridiculous to be like part of that story, man.
Classic game.
Yep. All right, Cameron.
All right,
Cam.
that's everything. So, my 2 spot is a game that I know Trevor and I hold very dearly in our heart. It is Grand Theft Auto 5. Which we talked about a good bit on last podcast. This, of course, includes like the story, which is pretty revolutionary in terms of open world stories, in terms of being able to play as 3 separate intertwining characters in the same world. The mission design was overall great. There's a load of funny moments and cutscenes and dialogue. Where like
Lamar was my favorite character in that game.
Yeah, where the voice acting is really, really good. You get that yee ass haircut.
Like, you got that yee ass haircut. You get some bitches on your dick.
There's one moment too where like there's a bass boosted version of it that's fucking hilarious. But like Trevor pulls up in an SUV to Michael, and Michael's like, "Oh my god, what happened? Did you kill him?" He's like, "No, I didn't kill him. What am I, some sort of animal?" He's like, "Oh, thank God, thank God." And then he opens the truck and he's like, "But I did kidnap his wife." And he's like, "Ah, Jesus."
Yeah, it's such a nasty, dark humor game.
It's the funniest book. Yeah. Oh, it's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so fucked up in so many ways, but it's so they do it so perfectly. And that's just the story.
It's the Eminem of video games, where it's like they just point their finger at it and they're like, "This is what's wrong with society." this is why kids are so corrupt, and this is why school shootings are happening. That's one of the titles.
Yeah, but I just love Rockstar for the way they put together the game and the absolute satire of everything. Where like the Church of Scientology is like really big in LA, right? Which is where Los Santos is supposed to be. And so they have like the Epsilon program, which is like this cult that gets advertised all the time. There's like radio adverts, especially on GTA Online. I hear them, where it's like why beating your kids works. It's like, I'm a former Marine, and this is why you need to hit your kids. And it's like has the sound effect of like kids getting hit, and it's like, thank you, sir. And then there's one for fucking legalized, like, vote yes on 2, legalized medical cocaine. It's like just the satire and fucking outright comedy threaded throughout the entire thing is so funny, because that was like an actual argument that people used when they were talking about legalizing medical marijuana. Is like, what's next? Medical cocaine. And so like Rockstar just takes that shit and runs with it. Yep. And so that's just the world they've built themselves. But then the online experience was great as well, where it was like an RPG basically, where you just, when it was first released, you were just like grinding missions, and there was like one mission that everyone had. I think Trevor, you know it,
Rooftop Rumble.
I did Titan of a Job over and over again because it paid out $10K, and you would just do that over and over and over again to grind out money to be able to buy an apartment, to be able to buy like all these 6 supercars and everything, and then finally, I don't know why it took them so long, but we finally got the heists. And the heists were like so much fun, especially doing them the first time. I think they have a fair amount of replayability. I know some people disagree with me on that. I'm
one of those people.
Yeah, there is some like cringe dialogue and stuff like that, but there are some funny parts as well.
Definitely fun the first time through, for sure.
Yeah, definitely fun the first time through, and so the missions are largely different. There's some that are a pain, but whatever. And then there was the Criminal Mastermind Challenge, which was how Trevor and I met, which is doing
no matter how I feel about Grand Theft Auto 5, I will always be thankful for it showing me the way of friendship. It's literally one of the reasons why this podcast even exists. So.
Yeah. And so the Criminal Mastermind Challenge, which was one of the largest challenges I've ever undertaken in gaming, and we're getting super long here, so I'm probably not going to tell the full story about it. But it was like, you had to do all the heists on hard difficulty with the same exact crew in order, never dying once. And on hard difficulty, the AI will just like cap your ass. Like you can be fully healthed and armored up, and like you peek for 2 seconds, and 2 guys are just like, there goes your head. So it was incredibly difficult. There's a load of bullshit parts of the missions where you're like, it like the car just explodes basically, right? Where you have to a lot of things, a lot of bullshit that you can't help and just would happen to us, and it was brutal. But yeah, so I have a very embarrassing story about the Criminal Mastermind Challenge, which I will save for probably if we do
we'll tackle that one later
of the podcast. So yeah, but yeah. I mean, I poured hours and hours into that game, and I loved every second of it, and it was challenging but also fun at the same time, and it can get pretty grindy, but I like games like that in a way. So yeah, I mean, I'm still having fun on it today. I came back to it after like 3 years of not taking it seriously, and I like, the paywall is massive now, but it's still fun to do. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
GTA 5 is number 2.
David and I put quite a bit of it too together.
Oh yeah, tons of hours. It almost made my list, but there's certain flaws with like you said, the paywall, and like how much they encourage the shark cards and the stuff on multiplayer.
Yeah, that's why they won't let it die, because they make so much fucking money from it. I think it's
it will never
more
die
than like the last 3 GTA games combined. It's just it's ridiculous how much money they make.
Like, even when it came out, it was like the biggest entertainment property.
The biggest blockbuster experience in the history of like everything of entertainment.
It's like an unprecedented game and stuff, and it is fantastic. And shout out to the radio; they added more songs too. Like it had some great song selection on there.
West Coast classics, baby.
Yeah,
yeah. Radio.
Take an ad break, try to sell your ass some shit.
Exactly. But I don't know.
Classic game.
Elaborate that that's a quote. Yeah.
A giant game. All right. Well,
So
dang.
All right.
Number
Birdman rubbing our
two.
hands together. Number one.
Yes,
which we will get
Number
to
fucking
right
one,
after this
baby.
commercial break.
Oh, gosh. And I know what it is.
Yeah.
For Trevor. I know what it is for Trevor, but I won't say it. And this is each of our favorite. Not we share them, but we're about to get into it.
I'm not really. I think I know Cam's, but I don't know yours. So we're
Yeah.
gonna.
I'd like for you to
be-
guess. So when I come up, you can definitely guess. You said it's a PS4 exclusive, and I can't think of a
Yeah,
PS4
so I don't even want
exclusive
y'all
that you
to
like more
guess.
than The Last of Us 2
wanna-
and Spider-Man. So just go ahead.
Yeah. So this one was a long time coming for me. We keep bringing up this guy Jeremy. He's a close friend of David and I's, and he raved about this game, and it took me quite a while to take it seriously.
My dumbass, of course. Sorry, continue.
It took me quite a long time to really take the idea of playing it seriously. I had no idea what it was about. I had no idea how it looked, how it played, what goes on in the story, nothing. And one day I was on GameStop, and they had a sale going on for this game, and it was like, no, it wasn't even a sale. It just popped up in the feed, and they had just re-released it because this game came out in 2016, and then back in like March 31st this year, they re-released it in the States as the Royal Edition. Number one is Persona 5. Like it's the culmination, dude. It's the culmination of everything that I would love this medium to be and to become in the future.
You mean the video gaming medium?
Yes, in general. Like it's a gorgeous game. Like the animation itself, like the animation style is superb. It's its own. You'll walk around through a crowd and you'll see like chatter, and it looks like a comic book. Like you're walking through a comic book. It's so cool. It hits you with personality. The soundtrack. Oh my god, the soundtrack. I could go on forever, but I won't. It's flawless. I to this day, 4 months later, I'm still listening to it and I'm still getting enjoyment out of it. I go on walks to this soundtrack. I have like a playlist of the actual soundtrack from the base game is 110 tracks. It's almost 4 hours long, and it deserves every minute of your time. Yeah. It deserves every minute of your time. It's got singing. It's got like it. I won't spoil the game, but like there are palaces that you go into which are like dungeons, and each dungeon has its own theme. And the
Mario
way that,
Underground music.
Huh?
Mario Underground music.
Yeah. Classic track. But each palace has its own theme, and it loops flawlessly in a way that they've created those songs specifically to loop, and it never somehow, even when you're spending 4, 5, 6 hours in these dungeons, it never gets old. It's timeless music to me. It's funky. It's acid funk. I think that's the actual genre of it. It's super jazzy. Hook you by the ear. It's amazing. The game itself took me 110 hours to beat. So it's quite the undertaking. I don't recommend it if you don't have a good amount of time to play fairly regularly, because you will not beat the game, and you really want to finish the game because it's I can't sing the praises enough of this game. Please give it a try if you have a PS4.
Man, I'm like cheesing just hearing you talk about it. I've purposely avoided as much as I can, because as we've gone over, Cameron and I don't have any Sony consoles. We're waiting for next generation or whatever, what may happen. But like the way Jeremy talks about it, the way you talk about it, I've seen like tiny clips of like gameplay or a cutscene here and there, and it just looks so unique and like nothing I've ever played, and like the animation looks so amazing, like on par with anything out there. I don't know, man. It's one of those things that keeps me excited for gaming in the future, even though it's already come out, like stuff I still have to play. And man, dude,
I wish I would pay the full $60 again if it meant that I could experience it again for the first time.
Yeah, man.
I cried when I finished it. Like when the credits rolled, I was bawling. It was like almost 2 a.m. in the morning, and I was fucking dying. It's a once in a lifetime experience. So please give it a shot.
Jeez, dude.
The power of video games.
And like
bring you to tears.
I'm not gonna,
That's art right there.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go too in depth with this topic, but it's the reason why like Rocio and I are planning a trip to Japan. It's the reason why I watch anime now. It's everything. It means the world to me.
Wow, man,
So
that's dang, dude.
not
That's
to
crazy.
mention it has the most beautiful steelbook in the world. Like
Ooh, man,
it's gorgeous.
Yes, sir, Mr. Trevor the Collector. That's
Yes, baby. Physical games. Please don't die out.
Okay, well,
So,
all right.
all
I
you,
guess
David.
I'll try to move on to mine. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Okay. Yeah, this game, I guess I can try to set it up a little bit. I talk about it sometimes, but I've only played through this game once.
I think I know it.
Okay, yeah, you probably do, but it'll still say like,
Yeah.
I played through. It's in a series, and I played through the series once, and it's one of those things that I will come back to it someday, and I'm planning on and whatever. I don't know. It's another number 2, so we got that. My number 1 is a number 2, just like many.
I don't know it then. Yeah, I don't know it. Fuck.
Dang. Okay. I don't know. I'll just say it's Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game.
Oh.
It's my favorite game ever. Like, okay,
let me say, I thought you were gonna go Breath of the Wild.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of people. I still haven't beaten that game, but
well, there you go. Yeah, I should have known. David Strikes Again.
David Strikes Again.
Yeah. Yeah, Mass Effect 2, I don't know, it came out like 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah,
and I played it
or something.
Yeah, I played it quite a few years ago. I don't know, dude. Mass Effect 1 is like dated in gameplay or whatever. The story's great, and Mass Effect 3 is a fantastic, amazing game, and they all continue from each other. But it has like some problems people talked about at the time with certain weird story tropes or whatever. But Mass Effect 2 is it's the most I've ever connected with any group of characters in any game, and and you choose how you connect with them too. To me, it has choices that series has choices that are unlike choices in almost any game. I like, however much I can talk about how I love The Witcher, some of the choices in that even feel shallow compared to stuff in Mass Effect. Things will affect personal relationships, and things will affect like intergalactic relations that you choose, and like wars will be started. It's like one of the best sci-fi, probably my favorite sci-fi property ever. It's so mature, and I mean, I guess it has competition with Star Wars and all that, but it's super mature. It's like the gameplay is fantastic. Each class is distinct from each other, and like they're so different, and like there's so many like nuances to the gameplay, and I don't know. I don't think like going back to it wouldn't be dated in any way. I don't know what else to say. Like
Brian would probably agree with you. I think he played through them fairly recently, and he adored them. So
yeah,
he likes to brag about how much time he puts into games without actually playing the game. Where he I think like the first thing he told me about it was like, yo, I spent 30 hours and I haven't even done the second mission. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, play the fucking game, please.
Yeah, it's dang, dude. It's one of the it's I hope he loves it as much as I do. It's one of the like the side missions are just part of the story. They're inseparable from it. They don't feel like none of them
like
feel like side missions. Yeah, it has a great sense of humor, and it's also deadly serious when it has to be. The second game has started off with a great mystery in a way. I'm not going to get into anything, but
yeah, I would like to play the games myself.
Yeah, I think the entire series is fantastic. The second game just has none of the flaws the other two have, I guess. And I don't know. It changed. Definitely, that series changed the way I think about gaming. I definitely cried during that series at certain points.
Hell yeah, we love those games.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I guess it's just it's the art of why video games can be great, and I don't know.
Fuck yeah, baby! I'm excited to play it with your perspective in mind.
Cool, dude. Yeah. Awesome.
All right, we leave it to you.
All right, you said you want to guess, right?
Modern Warfare 3?
Don't disrespect me like that.
Oh, come on, fam.
That's an
I don't
honorable
know
mention. That's
Wow.
gonna be an honorable mention. You don't know. Your big guess was MW3.
That's what I was
It's not
thinking,
Overwatch. It's not Destiny.
Dang.
It's not Destiny 2.
I guess I just spend so
Not
much
Civ.
time defending my my love for MW3. You guys think I like it way more than I actually do?
Facts.
Too. Yeah.
I
My
don't know.
baby wasn't
You
under
go ahead.
attack. I wouldn't have to go on the offensive.
We didn't ruin our number one analysis. So you go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's one of the best stories that I've ever experienced. Whether it be like a book, a movie, a TV show, whatever. It's just something I experienced and I wanted, and it
I know.
actually.
I know. I know it.
You yelled too loud and
I know
Discord
it.
put you in fucking free speech jail.
I know it.
You know it? Okay, well, give me a second. So it's something. It's a story that I played through, and it spoke to me in like a lot of ways, and the way it was told, and the themes they work with, and everything. And so my number one game is Trevor.
BioShock Infinite, baby.
That is correct.
Wow.
It is BioShock Infinite.
I know this, man.
Fantastic
Give me
game.
a second.
So yeah, you had the same exact thing I did, where I couldn't think of it, and then like as soon as you started talking about it, I was like, "Oh, my dumbass!" I was
Yeah,
like,
facts.
"Oh yeah, obviously,
It
obviously
happened.
this is what it is." You've only been talking
It
about
happened.
Persona 5 being the best game ever for the last like 3 months.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah, 2 months, whatever. So yeah, it's BioShock Infinite. So you start off in sort of a like the contrast and the way they tell the story is like they have the coin metaphor a lot, where it's like two sides of the same coin, and it's layered throughout the societal regulation, but also through the cinematography and the cutscenes and the storytelling. And so you start off in this like stormy Maine lighthouse in, I think it's like,
It looks like you're out in the middle of a Bermuda Triangle.
yeah, basically. So, and anyway, so you go up the lighthouse, and you're like confused, and then the way they build the world, where you're in this lighthouse, and they give you only tiny bits of information that your character understands because of his backstory, but you don't know his backstory yet. So
Good that they don't info dump.
Yeah, you move throughout this world, and they slowly trickle the information and the backstory to you, so that the things going on around you slowly make more and more sense. But as they make more and more sense, it like every answer gives you more questions, and it's just a beautiful game like that. So you start off in this rainy lighthouse, and then you take and then you go up above the clouds in the ship.
Columbia.
And you're in a lightning storm, and then you transcend the clouds, and you see this beautiful floating city in front of you. Beautiful sunny day, not a cloud in the sky because you're literally above them. And it just seems like this perfect utopia. And so you get off, and you're walking through the streets, and they're having a fair, and like there's kids running around playing ball and all this shit, and you finally get to where you're going, and they just rip the rug straight out from under your legs. Like they're like, this is the rest of the game. This is chaos and murder, and like it just exponentially mounts with the new enemies and all the stuff, and the I don't know how much I want to spoil because I want people to play the fucking game.
Yeah, just surface level it.
But it's so the combat isn't god tier or whatever, you know. It's not going to win any awards, but it is still like variable and fun, and the different guns and the way the combat works when you get further into the game, and they set up these sort of arenas which are by themselves like visually striking, and you have this massive variability of combat and options and things that you can do, and one of the best parts of the game is the skyline, where you feel like you're on a roller coaster, but it's part of combat. And so in these sequences as well, with the combat, with like chase scenes, like all this sort of stuff, the music is just fucking popping off in your ear, like you're fucking feeling it, and it's like it is an emotional roller coaster of sorts. And so you play through the game, and they have this sort of contrast of the utopia versus then you get to the gritty underbelly and you see where the sausage is made, that kind of thing, right? Where it's just like like I don't know if you guys know that saying. It's one I picked up recently, but like where you see like the meat and guts that go into it, and you're like, oh, like this is definitely not as perfect as it was on the surface. And so Colombia, which is the city, which is that kind of iceberg, where the more you go through, the more it's sort of they trickle information to you, and they end up putting together this theme of like a butterfly effect, where it's not choices you make, like you said in Mass Effect, David, where you're literally making the choices and it's having an effect on the game, but as you get through it, you realize that they play with this multiverse theory, where the more you go through, the more you realize that choices have been made that you have no control over, and you kind of have to maneuver your way through the different worlds and all this stuff. And so the way it's all done, and the story itself is beautiful and confusing, and the more answers you get, the more questions you have, and it just builds up all on itself until it completely crescendos. And the crescendo is something that was, to me, like completely mind-breaking. Like the way it was a brand new concept to me of the way they settle the story of that one choice can change everything.
Yeah.
So I will close by saying that the best thing about it was how easy it felt to play over and over again, and that in doing so, you would pick up new bits of information and understand the story and everything that they were throwing at you that at the time you did not have the information to understand and process. So like literally you can't fully understand the story on your first playthrough, because unless you remember every little tidbit of information that like flies past your peripheral vision and consider it in retrospect as you're getting these new bits of information, like somehow, then it's not going to happen. So you have to play it again to be able to fully appreciate it, in my opinion. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, man, dude.
So that's my number one. That's my favorite game of all time, is BioShock Infinite.
Dang.
Yeah, I quite enjoy the BioShock series. I think number one takes the cake for me.
Yeah,
but it's just got that nice creepy horror atmosphere.
Yeah, and then they wanted to answer the question of like, what is a Big Daddy so badly in 2 that they have you play in his shoes, and then we joked about it, is that it's literally linear. Like your progression to the end of the game is on a train that goes from stop to stop on a straight line. Like it's
pretty fucking lame.
Like you see the fact that you can see the story laid out in front of you so plainly, and you're like, okay, next stop, and then you're like, get off, and you do a bunch of the stuff that was pretty similar to the last stop, and then you get back on and you go another stop, and it's like, yeah,
not the best game,
but BioShock Infinite in my eyes is just a masterpiece of gaming, of storytelling, that just like almost changed my worldview to a degree. So that's what I put it as the top spot.
We love entertainment like that.
Yeah, that's such a great choice. It's such a beautiful game, and I imagine it's timeless and it holds up. Just, I don't know. Yeah.
Pretty well. Well, there you have it, everyone. Thank you for listening. This was our top 10 games of all time by the Unboxing Light podcast. Any final words for the people out there?
Let's see. Well, this went on for about 2 hours. So if you made it to the end of this, then we really appreciate you. And
shout out to everyone.
Yeah, if you have any passing interest in games, like drop. You can comment and tell us what your favorite games are, and
we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, this stuff we love to talk about. Like I think a common thing, especially with our number ones, was like it changed how we thought of certain things and changed our life in certain ways. So that is like, these things are important, and so if you want to talk about that and try to and just sort of interact with us, that's awesome. So
yeah. As a closing remark, I'll say it's becoming way more mainstream now, especially with the pandemic, that a lot of people are getting into gaming because they have nothing else to do, and TV can only watch the same like 3 archetypes of TV over and over and over again for however long. So I actually saw an article today that they're making like double the amount of PS5s that they were originally going to because of the popularity of gaming growing. So it's even like, to corporate attention that like there is this massive need, this demand for gaming content. And so it's getting more mainstream now, but I've seen a lot of takes over the years of people who dismiss video games as fake or just like a lesser form of leisure, or like just ditzy, kind of like not true forms of entertainment or anything. But not only are they true forms of entertainment, they're art pieces a lot of times. Like BioShock Infinite, I literally describe, not hyperbolically, but literally, as a work of art. And Red Dead Redemption 2 as well is like a work of art. Like it is something. It is a story told through. You get to be in the protagonist's shoes, and I can't imagine a better way to tell a story. And so you get to have that story told to you from that perspective, and also experience this gorgeous world that a massive team of people have put painstaking hours into creating around you. And so it's why we're doing a top 10 video games of all time is because for each of us, and hashing this out so massively, is the impact it's all had in our lives and how much we just love this as an art form.
Super well said. I was gonna get into that just a little bit if you didn't, but you said it better than I could. Yeah, they're art. Yeah.
Yeah, if
something I thought about a lot. Yeah, so
if there's one thing I can say, I hope I stay a gamer my entire life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I can't, gaming is increasing as exponentially as like any other technology. So, 10 years ago we had dinky ass iPhones that were like groundbreaking, right? And now we have the power of like an entire supercomputer in our hand. And it's the same for gaming. Like these massive worlds, like games used to be the size of megabytes. They were tiny,
and now they're 120 gigs.
It was
Shout out to Modern Warfare. Fuck you. Get out of my fucking shit.
There's that was inevitable. So yeah, it's only gonna get better. Gaming is only gonna get better. So
fingers crossed.
I'm so excited.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. We love you. We adore you. We appreciate every bit of support that you guys have shown us on our first video or our first episode. It was a little overwhelming. I like it. I hope we continue to grow and that you stay with us.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Peace out, baby.
Adios.